Hi, Tim. I think this will answer your question here in just a moment. So, thank you for your patience. We are here this afternoon to talk about Clever. My name is Kathleen Receiver, and I'm joined today by our colleagues in IT3. I have Stephen Durham with us, who works with the Zone 3 Elementary, and also
Hello, everyone.
I thought you said I said the wrong zone. I was like, oh. And then we also have Henry with us, who is working behind the scenes and helps with all of our Clever questions and make sure that it is working correctly. So thank you so much, Henry, for joining us this afternoon. All right. So today what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to access and sign into Clever, as well as how you can create your own individual teacher pages inside of Clever for your kids to access. And we're going to learn how to add different apps, as well as links or websites, and also how you can personalize each of these teacher pages, as well as a few more tips for you today. So if you're wondering what is Clever, some of you may have seen Clever show up, or you've heard of other people talking about it. Clever is a one-stop shop that will house all of the school's education apps for their students. So education apps and websites for the school, for individual teachers. And also when kids log into Clever with their JCPS email and password, they're going to have immediate access to these learning apps. And while we were waiting a few minutes ago, Tim in the chat, I saw that he asked, is Clever similar to Symbaloo? And that's a great question. I love Symbaloo. I used it in the classroom, and no, it's different because when a student signs into Clever, they automatically have access to apps, whereas Symbaloo is a place to organize different websites. Clever is a place where you can organize your websites for kids to get to, but if they require a login like BrainPop or Study Island, the kids will automatically be logged in. So a little bit different, and we're going to go in and show you how to get there, as well as answer some more questions. So what we're going to do first is, how do you access Clever? There's a couple different ways that we can access Clever. If you're using the Chrome browser, you should see a JCPS quick links folder on your bookmark bar. And it has a little folder and it says JCPS quick links. When I click on that as a teacher, I can see the backpack as well as Clever right here. You can also access our JCPS digital learning channel from there. So there's a quick plug there for you. But you can click on Clever from here. Now, if you do not see this bar with your bookmarks, don't stress. You can come all the way over here to the right side, and we have 3 dots. I like to call those our snowman, or some people might say hot dogs. If you click on that and go down to bookmarks, you want to make sure that that show bookmark bar is checked. So mine is grayed out, meaning that it's defaulted to be checked, but sometimes, depending on the type of computer you're using, you may need to check that. I also know that I'm signed into my JCPS account because when I click on my picture here, it tells me that this is my account, my email address. All right, so just a quick tip that may help you in the long run. But if that still doesn't work, it's okay, because you can go to our JCPS homepage, and from there, students can click on students, employees can click on employees. And we know where that login page is. So under logins, in alphabetical order, you will see Clever. So those are the 2 ways that you can access Clever. Now, if you just do a simple Clever search and try to log in that way, it will not work. So we have our own address for accessing Clever in JCPS. So make sure, if you catch what I said, when we're finished today, you can rewind it and you have the power of pause to watch it again.
So teachers, if you're getting questions from students saying, or parents saying, I can't get on Clever at home, one of the first things you might want to ask is, well, how are you getting to Clever? And make sure they're getting to Clever the proper way. So they're getting to the JCPS version.
Yes, absolutely. And so once you find Clever, you should get to a page that looks like this. So also, like Stephen said, you can ask, do they see Jefferson County School District at the top? Because they should. Okay, this is the correct page, and we're going to log in today using Google. If your students or your child went home with a Clever badge, they could click over here, but most probably didn't have time to prepare for that with the NTI. So we're going to click on login with Google. Now mine is going to go directly in because I've logged in before. But if you or a student has never logged in, you're going to have to click on, you're going to have to type your email address twice, just like you do when checking your email. And then you're going to type your password. So once you type that password, you're going to come to a screen like this. So we are teachers. So we're going to click on log in as a teacher. I did have a question emailed to me yesterday that Stephen and I hadn't mentioned yet. So great question. If I accidentally click on login as a staff, they wanted to know how I could get back out. So if you click on login as a staff for right now, and Henry, you can jump in if I'm incorrect, but I believe for right now, you need to sign out of Clever and then sign back in and log in as a teacher. Donna Hedges is with us in the chat right now. Thank you, Donna, for she's also one of our colleagues with IT3. And she told me that that's the one way that we can do it that we know of for now is just to log out and log back in. Logging in as a staff is for the admin of Clever at your school. So that could be your STC or maybe a principal or someone else that has been designated.
And Donna and Henry are the ones that help get Clever set up for our district. And it is rostered based on Infinite Campus. So they kind of know if you're a teacher, if you have students. If for some reason you're trying to sign into Clever, you believe you should have a Clever account, you have students rostered to you, and you're unable to get in, maybe you're one of those that slipped through the cracks, and they can certainly add you if this is something that you need to use. So you would go to the jcps.me/NTI site, click on technical assistance, and write down your Clever issue, and it'll probably get directed to them.
Yes, and I apologize. I didn't show that. Stephen, here we go. jcps.me/NTI. This is that site that he was talking about. So you have the technical support right here, as well as the teacher toolkit and a student and parent toolkit. So make sure you check this out as updates come out for Clever or Google or anything. We are trying to keep it updated for you. So make sure you check back here for those updates, as well as our YouTube channel. All right. So now I'm logged into Clever, and you can see that as a teacher, I have right now, if you've never signed in before, I have 2 pages. So I have a page that says just you, and it's only visible to me, as well as a district page. And I have 7 resources that are here, and it tells me that those are shared by my district. Now, up at the top, I have 4 tabs that we're going to talk about today. Down here at the bottom is an add tab. So what we're going to show you first is how you add a teacher page. So if I am a 2nd grade teacher, I can click on the add button and go to this green circle page. It's very user friendly to see. I get a thumbs up that I've successfully created this new page. I can rename my page by clicking in the white box at the top, as well as give that page a description. If I have several pages, I may want to write something there. You can change and personalize this picture. So our elementary teachers, we like to do that. You can click there and just choose and click save, or you can upload your own picture. Oh, sorry, that's the header that turned purple. My bad. I can make a purple kangaroo. There we go. And then down here, it's saying, welcome to your new page. You don't have any resources yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to that green add button, and I have 3 options. I can add a category, a link, or an app. Before I get started, I think I'm going to go ahead and add a category here. And once you add it, it tells you you've been successful. Here again, I can give that category a name. I'm going to name that reading. And notice over here, if I messed up, I can click the X and delete, as well as arrows to move that category up and down if I have several. And now that I have reading, I'm going to click on add. And the first thing I want to add is a link. I have a teacher website that has a lot of resources in it, but my link to get to that website is super long, or if you're like me, it's my last name and it's spelled really crazy. I can add that link. You can right click and paste it, or Command V and paste it, or Control V and paste your link here. I can give it a name for my second graders. Our class page. And then I can even select a category. So if I have several categories here, maybe I want that under reading. I'm going to make sure to select that. And once again, I can choose an icon that is provided for me, or I could even upload my own picture. I'm going to click on the books since I'm doing for reading, and I'm going to add that link. So now notice I've been successful. I like how it tells me that what I did worked. I think that's helpful for us. Now I have a reading link here, and this is going to go directly to my class website. But if you don't have a website like a Google site, you don't want to be fancy with that. You just want to add maybe a Google Doc or a Google Slide. Remember, a Google Doc and a Google Slide, those are essentially websites. They have a link. So if you make just a Google Doc with several different websites or resources that you want your younger students to access, you could type those on that Google Doc, and then you could just simply paste that Google Doc link here, and your kids would be able to access it when they sign into Clever.
So this might be a great thing if your school has like a school website that you want the kids to use, or your librarian has your school's library site. You could have the STC put that out there for your school. So all the students, when they go in, those are some sites that they can get to. Yes.
And the STC, or if it's not the STC, a lot of times it might be a school administrator that has access to the Clever admin side. They could add that. And also, Stephen, I believe they could put a ticket in as well. Is that correct?
They can, yes. And you could use that. I would use right now, since the phone lines are busy, lots of people needing lots of technical support right now, I would go to that NTI site and go ahead and submit the form. And another way to get there also, if you forget that, is jcps.me/help. And that will take you there. And there's actually for parent, student, and for an employee. So you would put in employee and just say, hey, I'm not in touch with my STC right now, and I'd like to get this Clever app pushed out for all our students at Klondike Elementary, for example.
Yep. You got it. So now that I've added a link here, I also know that, man, we use iRead a lot. So I want to see if I can go to app and type in iRead. When I do, I notice nothing comes up. And actually, we learned earlier in the week from Donna that right now iRead is not available through Clever at the moment. So that's why I'm using this as an example. But if you type an app or something that your school has purchased, a software your school has purchased, and it doesn't show up, that's also where you need to place a ticket so our colleagues can take a look at that app and see what information they need from the company to get that added if it is possible. All right.
So basically, JCPS now has Clever, and then we have people, Henry and Donna, who are working with Clever, and we can say, hey, we have schools that are using IXL, and they would like to use IXL with Clever, or iRead with Clever, and then Henry and Donna will work with Clever to see if we can make that happen. So we're building it as we go. So if there's something your school needs, things would be great on the Clever page, by all means, submit that ticket, and Henry and Donna will be able to help us out with that.
Yes. And also something else that Donna told me this morning as a workaround is if you are a special area teacher in elementary, maybe you're a librarian or computer lab or art, music, whichever, and you want to add a page for all of your students. Some of you have received an error when trying to do that. So I want to make sure you know how to fix that. So if you log into Clever and you create this page, over on the left side, there's a button that says Edit Student Sharing. So notice right now my teacher page is only accessible to me. So I need to click on that Edit Student Sharing, and this pops up. Who do I want to have access? So for the regular classroom teacher, you could do, if you're an elementary teacher, all students you teach, because that could be anywhere from 24 to maybe, hopefully not 30 students, 27 students. But if you are teaching several different classes, you're going to want to click on this one or more classes link and then hit the drop down and choose which class the class you want to assign this to. So in Infinite Campus, if you have 18 different classes, it's my understanding, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, that they're those will show up right here. So you can have separate pages for all of those classes, because obviously you may need different resources for each of the classes.
Because we had like librarians who are like, I teach over 100 students. Well, Clever caps out for a teacher classroom size of 100. So what you can basically do is you want to be able to, you would look for there, for example, all the 4th grade teachers, all the 3rd grade teachers, you can add them and then they will have access to your page. Exactly. Are we speaking correctly on that? Because I know we just kind of learned this information recently. Henry, does that sound good?
Actually, we have a response from our Clever rep that we have some sort of workaround, or he's not calling it a workaround, but it's a new feature to where the people with, I guess, the classes over 100 can still get the same experience.
Okay. And so it'd be basically using that where they just say, I have this page and it can be accessed by all these teachers at my school. Okay, great.
Got it.
And that's the exciting thing about this NTI process, like with Google Classroom, Google Meet, with Clever, that analytics tab wasn't there 2 days ago. So technology is constantly changing, especially during this time.
Absolutely. And also, while we're talking about new things, if you try to sign into Clever and you get an error, or if you sign in and your classes aren't showing up correctly for teachers, again, that is something that you need to put in a ticket for. And then our friends over, Donna and our friends, will be able to help get that taken care of for you. Okay. So if I click on back, I'm back on my homeroom tab again. So now you see Miss Receiver's kindergarten class right here, and I've shared one resource. So I'm going to move on to the Just You page. I'm going to click on that. The Just You page is meant for a place for teachers to explore different apps before they assign them to students. So just like we want to check out a website or a video or anything we're going to give students first, this is a place where you can do that. And if I click on library, I can browse different apps that are by subject level or grade level, even most popular, as well as all resources. So if I click on K through 2, for example, when I scroll down, it says most popular in grades K through 2 for your district. So these are showing different apps that have already been installed and are being used in JCPS. So I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show that. And then also you can browse by subject again. And if I find one that I think that I want my kids to use, like I love KidBlog, for example, I'm going to click on KidBlog. And I'm going to scroll down. I can look to see teacher reviews. I can kind of scroll around and see, what is KidBlog exactly. And as I keep going down, notice this is a free trial, but there are, you do have to pay to upgrade it to premium. So remember that when you're looking at these apps, they're not all going to be free. You may get some of the parts of it for free, and then they catch you and they want you to buy their product because it's really good, or maybe not. But just know that you can scroll down and kind of check out that information. Also, I like this teacher usage. So 19 teachers in our district are using it, and almost 2,000 teachers overall that use Clever are using KidBlog. I can click on install, and then the upgrade to KidBlog, that's where they're going to ask for that money. So I'm going to click on install. And once I click install, it's going to ask me, where do you want to install it? So if I have several different classes, maybe I only want KidBlog for my K through 2 classes. I can click allow and continue. And now it's going to take me to KidBlog, where I'm going to sign up with my teacher sign up and give them that information. But if I go back to my homeroom, now I can see that under Miss Receiver's kindergarten page, I have that reading my link to my website here, and also KidBlog. And I think this is a great time to show you what it looks like from a student's perspective. I've received permission from our colleague Danielle Washburn to use her daughter's site. And so you can see as a student, I think it's important, I think it's important for teachers to be able to see what their students see. And that's why we want to show you this today. You can see that she has 2 different teacher pages. So she has her special area page and then her kindergarten teachers page. district applications. Now, this is something we haven't mentioned yet, Stephen. With the district applications, the district can push out different apps such as Study Island or Edmentum if they are available and approved. But also the schools, like we said, can push out different apps. So for Alana's school, they've chosen to push out BrainPop Junior, and this Pathblazer. So that may look different when you sign in. You may not see those because their admin at their school level pushed those out for them. Whereas these others we saw on my page because the district has pushed them out. So that is the student view. Pretty simple. That's really
the student could see the apps pushed out by the district, the apps pushed out by the school, those school-based apps that maybe the STC or Clever Administrator pushed out, and then the teacher pages and any teacher pages that have been selected for that student.
Exactly. Yes. And it's just really easy to use. Okay. So now I'm back here. And Stephen, you were cutting out a little bit. Are we still on? Are we good?
We're good. Yes.
Okay, great. So now I'm back here and you can see I have a favorites, the word favorites here. If I drop down, it can show favorites that you have favorited. So when you hover over these apps, you can click on the little heart and it will add the favorite for you as the teacher. That's what that is. And then we have the district. So like we just said, these are apps that the district has controlled, and it tells you up here, controlled by your district. And you know, one thing that I haven't tested here for the teacher, and maybe Henry or Donna can answer, is if the school has pushed something out, will that show up here as well and say controlled by the district? Is that still considered? I think it is, but I just wanted to clarify.
If it's a school push out, I don't think it's on the district page.
It wouldn't be in the district applications category. It would probably be in a separate category that the STC or maybe one of us in the central office had created to add that extra resource.
Okay. But it would still, for the students though, it's showing up under, which I guess on the other school example that they could have asked the district to push it out to them. So
right. Kathleen, we just have a couple minutes left. I want to make sure we cover how to help a student.
Yes, so I'm going to go over here to the right and click on Help a Student. And you can choose your child's drop name from the list. And let's say that Stephen Durham doesn't know his login. I, as a teacher, can click on his name and give him a temporary login to access Clever. So that's helpful. As well as if a child is struggling with an app or something in Clever, I can click on their name and it will give me different questions to answer and ask the child to try to help them. And if I can't get anywhere with it, it's not helping, then Clever will send me on to their support to help. So that's great as well. And I know we're a little over. We had some technical difficulties, but one last thing, this new analytics tab up here is brand new. Yesterday I logged in and noticed it. So right now I do not have classes in my class because I don't have classes in Infinite Campus, but teachers are able to see their students here and who has been active in the past several days or no activity in the past week. So that's a new tab. Lastly, on the slides that are in the virtual training schedule, we have some Q&As to help you with some questions we've received through this process. Clever support page is great too. They have some great videos that have helped me. And also Common Sense Media is there. That's something great to check out. We have a Clever Tips for Parents that came from that Clever support page, as well as how students can log into Clever and how STCs can support their schools on our JCPS digital learning channel. So these are all resources that we have for you, and we hope that this video was helpful. And if you have further questions, you can feel free to reach out to your digital innovation leader, and we're here to help. Thanks so much again, Henry and Donna, for being in the chat. Were there any questions or anything we missed?
No, I think we covered it all. Thank you very much, Kathleen. That was great.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Kathleen. Thanks, Henry.